Hello, and welcome to the 47th episode of the Neil and Lynn's podcast, the only show that threads together music, movies, TV. I am Noah, here as always with
Kevin. What is up? How are we doing today, folks? Good job getting the tagline in there again.
Thank you. It's been a while. It kind of fell out of rotation for like many episodes. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I was doing it.
You were doing it. I just always forgot. I was just always trying to get the intro out of the way, get it in. But it was a good. It was a good tagline.
It was. You were the one that came up with it, which was the confusing part because
because then
you came up with it, and then why? Yeah, it's just like, oh no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I know. But it's back now, and we're back for another episode. Talk about lots of exciting stuff.
Yes, lots of exciting things today. Let's go ahead and jump into it. First off, let's start with some industry news that's been happening. I kind of hate this website because there's a shit ton of ads, but we're going to go ahead and deal with it. Let's go ahead and talk about Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa is getting hit with some lawsuits regarding her track Levitating.
Awesome.
Now, I mean, we can just touch on this real quick because I mean, I know how I feel about it. I don't know how you're feeling, but essentially, Dua Lipa was sued by this reggae band, Article Sound System, that claimed that her 2020 song "Levitating" ripped off their song "Live Your Life," so on and so forth. And apparently, she's getting a second lawsuit from.
Who's the second one from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Is that, there we go. Second copyright lawsuit. It is on this website here. Complaint reported filed in Manhattan federal court accuses Dua of copying their 1979 track "Wiggle and Giggle All Night," performed by Corey Day, and their 1980 song "Don Diablo," performed by Miguel Bosé.
Not Wiggle and Giggle All Night. Classic.
Obviously a classic. Opening melody is a duplicate of their songs. To be completely honest, I haven't heard these ones, so I don't know. So we're going to go ahead and...
I've heard the first.
Don Diablo or Wiggle and Giggle All Night?
No, I've heard the reggae one.
Oh, the reggae one. Yeah, I've heard that one. We have our thoughts on that, but I haven't heard these ones.
You haven't heard Wiggle and Giggle, though?
No. I mean, I don't remember it off top.
Went crazy in the nursery.
Okay, I'm
no, yeah.
I'll listen to it later because I'm not trying to get copyrighted right now.
I definitely haven't heard Wiggle and Giggle. That was the joke. But,
okay, I figured I figured about as much.
Neither
I could never tell with you.
Just off the quick listen, neither of those sound anything remotely like Levitating.
Yeah.
The one from the reggae band, though.
Yeah, "Live Your Life" from Article Sound System. That one is pretty convincing.
It's however, like 1-to-1 almost.
However, I will say there's a lot of things that are going on with that. For one, obviously, Dua Lipa has songwriters. Right? And they even talk about in this article that oh, never mind, they don't. But yeah. Like she has songwriters. I forgot who was the one who arranged this track, Levitating, but from what I understand, they're a pretty reputable, well-known writer and arranger and so on and so forth, right? So that's one thing. Two, something that is kind of not in the favor of Article Sound System is a lot of people are saying that their track has not really been found. There's not a lot of places that you can see it prior to recently.
Really?
Now, yeah. So I think the YouTube video for it was posted fairly recently. I don't know if you can track Spotify, because obviously on Spotify you could just put the actual release date.
Right.
And like that. But obviously it being on YouTube was uploaded fairly recently.
Right.
And yeah, there's just not a ton of proof to say that this song existed prior to this lawsuit.
Interesting.
Another thing, though, that some people were saying, like, yeah, it has the date on SoundCloud. That's one place where it is, where you can see the date. However, SoundCloud works a lot similar to Vimeo in how you can change the file after the fact, and it won't change any of the like the metadata, the date, and things of that sort. So, they could have done that. The only thing that there is, I think I saw a video saying that there is a physical copy of the CD on their website that you can purchase, and then you can see from that. And the video that I was watching, he said he was going to purchase it. So, I mean, we'll see for that. The last part about that, though, is that the lawsuit in question is coming eerily close to the release of a new Article Sound System album. I want to say like it just came out.
Wow.
Yeah, like it either just came out or it's going to come out.
That's a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it just came out this year. Welcome to Florida. It just came out this year, and they went ahead and filed this lawsuit now. So it's a little bit suspicious because, you would think, oh, hey, this is a very widely popular song that was released, right? There's not really much of a chance that you didn't hear it, right? So you would think you would try to file the lawsuit as soon as you heard it and like, hey, that's a 1-to-1 copy of our song.
Instead of,
Instead of waiting damn near 2 years later when you're about to release an album.
Start promoting your album.
Or when you have just released an album. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, curious, right? It does make you think quite a bit. And I don't know. When you put all of those together, I don't know if they're lying on this. And also there was another one. I forgot the name of the track, but it also they're saying that it derived a lot from an Outkast track also. Let me see if I can find it.
Wow.
It was it derived from Rosa Parks.
Levitating?
Yes.
Interesting.
So that's what people were saying about that too, which obviously came out before the Article Sound System song. So, look.
This is a lot of...
There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot. There. But who knows? Right now, obviously, the court is going to decide. There's a lot of evidence to unpack there. However, I will say, at the end of the day, look, these lawsuits are and these have happened a lot recently.
So much.
We've had a lot of issues with these. Like, I mean, some of the biggest ones, we have the Robin Thicke, Marvin Gaye estate one for Blurred Lines. I think there was one with Juice WRLD too, right?
Oh.
There's one with Juice WRLD and let me see, Juice WRLD copyright lawsuit. Yeah, Yellow Card. Yellow Card.
Song?
You said
it was
what?
For Lucid Dreams.
Yeah, it was for Lucid Dreams, but this was after he was already dead too, and everyone was like, "Dude, fuck you. He's dead, and you want to just take money from his family? Like, go suck a dick."
Right.
And then they were like, "Oh, we'll drop it. We'll drop it. It's fine." Listen, listen. A lot of these lawsuits are in a very weird gray area because of the fact that what they're trying to exactly copyright and take from the artists and say that were stolen are specific pieces of songs rather than entire songs. And this is a very similar thing that happened with I don't know if you're familiar with the whole Fortnite case with the dance moves and things of that sort, like the Carlton,
I do remember that.
The Backpack Kid flossing, things like that, which obviously I feel very differently about that because Fortnite or Epic Games, I guess rather, is a very large company stealing from these creators and stuff like that. Yeah. However, what it kind of came down to was that these dance moves, since they were so short, were more considered pieces of dance rather than a whole arrangement, and thus couldn't necessarily be copyrighted. These are building blocks for what would be a larger arrangement. This is kind of a similar case in this lawsuit as well. The melody of the choruses are very similar between the two of them. However, when you're talking about the specific melody, that is a building block of a larger piece of the art. You know, when you try to copyright specific melodies, it makes creating art a very weird space because these melodies are what create larger pieces of artwork. And therefore trying to be like, I own this, I'm the sole owner. And then even when you go back to it, like seeing that, oh, yeah, this also kind of sounds like Rosa Parks by Outkast. So like, you know, did you steal from Outkast then? And then should Outkast get all this money then?
Right.
You know?
I feel like that's always how like these conversations end up going with this kind of stuff, because it's like, I don't know, it just always circles back to that, because it's just like once you try to get down to the nitty gritty of really like,
and who's the original creator,
right? Like it just gets so messy, and just like music copyright and like
copyright law in general is just really ridiculously
so
broken and messy.
Oh God. Yeah, I feel like also normally when this kind of stuff happens, like I don't know, for some reason I feel like I never end up hearing about
what verdict is
happening. Yeah,
you know, a lot of the times I guess one thing that I can think of recently that actually ended up going through was how is it? Olivia Rodrigo was having a lot of stuff with her album, but what ended up happening was she just gave the artist songwriting credits. Like. Yeah. What was the one that sounds like that Paramore song? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was it Good For You?
Yeah, I think it was Good For You.
Mm-hmm.
And she just ended giving Haley Williams songwriting credit, which it works out in the end.
And that whatchamacallit, same with that girl that was like, Lizzo stole this saying from me. Remember?
Oh.
She's like, I just took a DNA test. Turns out that whole
that thing. And
she
I'm
was
just
like, I said that, and then she got a writing credit.
Yeah, good for her. But like, that's kind of, I don't
know. Hey, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's coming from me. I've never came up with an original thing in my life, but still.
It's just like that gets really.
It gets
tricky. It gets really, really, really tricky, and I want creators to get, you know,
compensated for
for
what original
they
work.
create, and you know, I never want to see anyone getting, you know, shorthanded, but it just gets so tricky with this kind of stuff.
It does. And also, like, just the more of these lawsuits that come out, the more likely the art form as a whole is going to start killing interpolation.
Right.
Because then interpolation is just unacceptable, because if it's remotely similar, then you could get millions of dollars.
You have to like, okay, when do we decide whether it's too similar or
exactly?
Like, and you know, what does that? And it's like, you know, sometimes when people interpolate, they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and give this person the writing credit. Like, I'm not even gonna try and fight it, which is fine. When it's like, you know, unfortunately, my favorite Frank Ocean song has a John Lennon writing credit on it, you know, and I have to live with that. But, you know, we have the song on streaming and there are no issues with it. So it's just like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
What are you going to do? What, you know, it's tough. And generally speaking, I don't want more of these lawsuits to happen, because just going into them, it creates very, like I said, it's in a very weird legal gray area, and it's these long ass litigations and stuff like that. And it takes away from the overall process. I think definitely, you know, the writing credit is a very good way to go about it. I think it works really well. It's like, okay, yeah, cool. You get the recognition and the credit for what you did, and, you know, bing, boop, bop, you know?
Just like that.
It works. But
it is,
sometimes it's, you know, they're not going to be satisfied with that. They're going to be like, hey, you're you're a big artist and you stole my work.
Especially if it's a smaller artist.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like I can't even entirely fault them for being like, I had a song, like I did this first, and I also did it well, but you did the same thing, and now you're a huge pop star because of it, and like I'm still here, like just trying to make it day to day. So it's like, it's like I said, it's tricky because it sucks. Like I can't imagine being the artist where you like hear this song and you're like, this is my song.
Exactly. And like that's why I would have had a ton more sympathy for Article Sound System if they would have pushed this lawsuit through when the song first came out. Because this song was everywhere.
That's like, and I feel like most of the time it comes out pretty quickly a lot of the time. With certain stuff. Like I remember when like Donald Glover got hit with that "This Is America" thing where that guy was like, "This is my song." Like I feel like that was pretty quickly after the song came out. Like, and that's another one. I have no clue what happened with that. But like just it's a gray area.
It is. It is. And just like the lawsuits are a waste of time in most cases. Just because, I mean, you look at a smaller group like Article Sound System, they only have 56,000 monthly listeners on Spotify here.
Dang.
You're going up against Dua Lipa and her label. Dude, come on. Come on. They have multi-million-dollar legal teams. Come on.
Yeah. The only thing that'll work in their favor is just that the song does sound like pretty damn similar.
It is. And if they prove that, yeah, it is pretty 1-to-1, and that it did actually come out previously, and that they could reasonably believe that whoever the songwriters on Levitating actually did hear the song or could have heard the song.
Yeah.
Then sure.
Hey,
yeah, get them their check. Let them have it. Give them a songwriting credit. Cool.
Run it up.
All that. But if this does come out and it turns out that they were just lying to gain some clout for their album, that sucks, dude. Come on. That's so lame. That's so whack. Don't do that. Don't do that. Find God. Find God. Don't do that. But we'll see. We'll see what comes out of these lawsuits. I, for one, I'm trying to pay attention because, yeah, like you said, we often don't get to see what comes out of these lawsuits. So I would like to know what happens after this. I want to see if the lawsuit gets dropped because, I mean, generally, from what I've seen, once that sort of news came out that, oh, yeah, they just put out an album this year and it's kind of a weird gray area as to whether or not we can confirm that this song actually existed in this form back whatever year they tried to claim that it came out.
Yeah.
That it did exist in that form. A lot of people are just like, y'all are stupid. You're just doing this for clout. So, hey.
Valid response. So, time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what, if this does go to litigation, what the court eventually decides. But we'll never know. I guess we'll never know. Moving forward to the big piece of news. Big piece of news. This past weekend, long awaited, Robert Pattinson in The Batman just came out in theaters to a whopping, I actually just did some research on this today for class.
Yeah.
$134 million opening weekend domestically.
Overperformed.
It overperformed. And this is only the second post-pandemic film to have an over $100 million opening weekend. Yeah. Extremely, extremely impressive.
Very very well deserved.
Very well deserved. It was great.
Oh my God.
I really
thinking about it.
You said what?
I haven't stopped thinking about it.
I haven't either. It was so good. My God.
And I mean, I already talked about how I was like so concerned
that it was gonna get
maybe for some reason it was just gonna not the mark.
Yeah, we're gonna try to stay away from spoilers, but be warned. Well, I'm saying for now. For
the start,
we'll get into a spoiler territory in a bit, but
but it delivered.
It really
and then
did.
some. Like I think the more I think about it, the more I like it, and I really want to go again. And I think I'm gonna be like, yeah, this.
Me
is
too. Let's do it.
Like this is better.
No, because honestly, it was so good.
So the tone and
on point.
It was so great. Like
the performances, everyone delivered.
Yeah, he just does a great job. Like you said, everyone. I loved his dynamic with Gordon. Like I thought that was just great, and it's also kind of funny.
It was
like there was some stuff in here. I was like, that was funny.
And you know what?
Was actually funny.
You know what? All the film dudes have been memeing about like, oh, Marvel fans when there's not 30 clever quips and an insane post-credit scene, blah blah blah. Which it's a funny joke. I like it. It's funny.
Right.
But there was some pretty funny moments in here that didn't feel insanely forced, like they tend to be in some Marvel films. So applause to that. They were well executed in there. But yeah,
I can't say enough good things about movies. Now it's not without its flaws.
Yeah, of course.
In my opinion, like I do have a few sort of nitpicks, with the movie, but overall,
it's certainly not flawless by any means.
I'm very pleased with this version of Batman we got. I'm also shocked. I think one of the first things I realized while I was watching it, I was like, I don't think we've ever seen a Batman movie that has this much Batman.
Yeah.
Batman is like, he is the man. Like, it's not Bruce Wayne. It's like,
this is Batman. A Batman movie.
Like, like most of the times that we're seeing Robert Pattinson in the movie, like it's as Batman,
Exactly.
Which I feel like is very different from a lot of what we gotten before, especially with like the Nolan trilogy. Like, I feel like it was very Bruce Wayne centric, which is not something that I even realized until I saw this now, because it was almost a bit jarring. I was like, man, Batman is he's the movie. Like, this is the Batman. Like, this is why the movie's called the Batman.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, to be fair, that it makes sense why it was called that.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, we did not get a lot of Bruce Wayne, which makes sense in a way, for like what this movie is.
Yeah, and for also, the tone, the atmosphere, it really does make a lot more sense.
And it's like,
and we'll get more into that in spoilers, but yeah.
Right. And I mean, it's very much a detective story. Yeah. And, most of the detective work he's doing as Batman. Like, he's not, not really doing stuff on his days off.
Yeah. And even just that, like, it's just a fantastic detective movie, honestly.
Yeah. It is, I think some people are like, maybe the trailer showed like too much or whatever. But I honestly
I don't think so.
I'm fine. I'm fine with everything that we saw. There's maybe like one scene that I maybe wish I wouldn't have seen, but for the most part, like, I think it was really well done.
Yeah.
And it definitely keeps you on your toes. And I think even from just like a filmmaking perspective, it's just like the cinematography in this movie is just like I don't think we've had a Batman movie that looks this good.
Yeah.
Like, we just haven't. And like, Christopher Nolan's movies have some nice cinematography, but I feel like I don't often walk away from them being like, that shot right there. Like, I can't think of a lot of shots in Nolan movies that I'm just like, that was so amazing. But like, and
I think a lot of that, I will say, because a lot of people are comparing this to The Dark Knight, obviously, because The Dark Knight is heralded as the best Batman movie, one of the greatest superhero films of all time, one of the greatest films of all time, considered by a lot of people.
Right.
And I don't want to engage too much in that because obviously,
right.
one, I haven't gone back and watched The Dark Knight in the longest of times.
It's been a while.
And I want to now after this because I want to get into that conversation. But I think a lot of that just has to do with the scenery of this movie and how it helps the shots.
Yes.
I think just and like I was saying, the atmosphere, the tone, and how it's combined with that scenery makes those shots look buttery.
And
crisp.
I think that's what, like, one thing that Matt Reeves was like, he talked about with that. He was like, I want Gotham to feel gothic. Like, they weren't like Nolan shot in Chicago.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And it felt real, right? Like it felt like,
and that's what
where
he was
this
going
is reality.
for,
and
right?
I can admire that. Exactly.
And I think it worked for what he was trying to do. Although now when you see this version of Gotham, you're like,
this is Gotham.
Gotham. Like,
this is
Gotham. My God. Like,
this is what Gotham is and should be.
Yeah. It's so good.
Like this is, and this is not a controversial opinion. Everyone that I've heard has said this. This is the best screen adaptation of Gotham we have gotten ever.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. And
it's dark, it's gritty,
this is definitely the darkest Batman
exactly
that we've gotten. And at the time, and even not even at the time, even years, up until this movie, people would be like, Nolan's trilogy, that was really dark. Like, that was dark. And then you get this, and you're like, oh, this is dark.
Midnight.
Like, yeah. So, and I absolutely loved it. Like,
I did too. I really do want to go rewatch it. Cause fuck, man.
I'm definitely gonna be rewatching it soon. I will say, like, I know a lot of people have said the runtime was like a breeze for them. I did feel it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
I felt it like a tad bit towards the end.
Yeah.
There were I will say there were a lot of points that, and I mean, like any good detective film, right? But like you feel like you've got the answer and then you're back down. So it's very
right.
It's very roller coastery in that way.
For sure. And I think, like, not that I was expecting it to be a perfect movie by any means.
Yeah.
But I think, like, it's also one of those things where it's like I felt the length, but also, is there anything I would cut out?
Yeah.
I don't know that there is.
Yeah.
And I mean, also, I was just like, I was getting a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. Just, I think from the day, generally, like, I was just bringing that into the theater with me. Also, it's like I saw it in IMAX, and the IMAX theaters, like, they just have you sandwiched up in there like sardines, and they like,
because those are fucking huge ass theaters with the ton of seats.
And but the seats don't recline. They don't give you that much leg. I have long legs, so I'm like, anytime I see an IMAX movie, like, I'm constantly fidgeting or like trying to change positions or whatever.
I thought I didn't see it in IMAX. I thought I got recliners for my screening, and I sat down and was a little bit disappointed, but it's fine.
You didn't? Dang.
It's fine. I was late to the game to get tickets, so I'm not.
So you had to.
I can't be mad, but
I
did think it was, but it wasn't.
That's I think maybe if I saw it again, like, and I do think if I see it again, I will like it more, just because the more I like it more. Like, after I left the theater, I was like, that was really, really good. And then after I think about it more, I'm just like, yeah, that was really, 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 like, it's so good.
Just add and release every time you think about it. Honestly.
Exactly. And that's some overall thoughts. I am dying to dive into spoilers.
Let's do it. Spoilers. Skip ahead, folks. Timestamps below in the YouTube. I'm sorry for the audio people, but
you'll figure it out.
I don't know how. I really don't know how.
Yeah, maybe we can just throw it in the description.
Yeah, it's not a lot of room for that. But if you pull it up on YouTube, the timestamp should relatively align. Just a keyword of warning. But yes, let's talk about it.
For starters, I want to start with just the beginning of this movie because the second this thing starts, I'm in it.
Oh yeah,
I
it
was like,
gets you in. Oh,
like
fucking
immediately.
bad.
First, even just like the title card drop. I don't know why that got me so hype. I was just like,
dude,
that is delicious.
It's a good title card.
It's a good title card. I love how it takes up the full screen.
Yeah,
like it's so big, and it's just like, oh,
you feel it. You feel it.
And like Michael Giacchino's score, just like,
oh, the score
gorgeous.
Oh my god!
You know, you just got like these binoculars, just looking through. You've got this breathing, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like, whoa, okay, what's happening here?
What's going on right now? I'm like, okay.
Like, you already need to find out what the fuck is going on.
From literally the first second.
Yeah, the first.
I'm like, what's happening? I love this. And you know, that whole opening scene is just wow. And then you have that shot where, you know, Riddler goes into, you know, he finally goes into the apartment, and there's just darkness, and then you just see the eyes.
That was so fucking trippy. God. Like, I heard so many audible gasps in the theater because that was a shocking moment. Like, that was a pretty good jump scare, not gonna lie.
It was really good.
It was very well executed. And then also going into that scene, I was kind of like, all right, are we gonna see Bruce's parents die again? You know, whatever,
yeah, that's what I was thinking was happening.
I thought that's what we were getting. We didn't get that, kind of thankfully. But yeah, dude, that scene, it is honestly, fuck, I'd pay to just go watch that scene again.
Yeah. There are like a few scenes in this movie that I'm like, I need that again.
Yeah.
Like, I need that again. I need, that opening scene with the Riddler. I need the scene after that where the Batman narration scene where he's talking about how, like, the fear, like, the shadows, like, he is the shadows.
Yeah.
Because, and then you're just like, you as the audience don't even know which shadow he's going to be behind.
And you're put in the position of, like, the criminals and shit like that, because you're looking around like, what the fuck? Gonna be? Which one am I going to get my ass beat from?
Yeah. So I loved that so much. And I really like the narration too.
Yeah.
That we got there. It was just so perfect. So I would pay to rewatch those two scenes alone. And then
the first 10 minutes, pretty much.
The one that really got me, literally, I got actual goosebumps. I got chills when the Batmobile started up.
That was so sick.
Scene. I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And like, I'm like, when I go see it in a regular theater, like, is it gonna hit the same with, like,
I don't know, it hits pretty,
the sound design and whatnot?
It's pretty good in regular theater. I will say I went to it wasn't Atmos, it was AVX, I think it was.
Okay.
So I mean, I still got some of the nice audio
AVX
stuff,
still pretty good.
Yeah, I wish it was Atmos though.
Yeah.
I always try to go to Atmos AVX. But
yeah.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, you still had it pretty good.
Yeah.
You still had it pretty good.
I'm spoiled. I'm not gonna lie.
But that scene, man.
It was,
oh my God. I was just like, I've never seen a Batmobile introduction that amazing. Just the way it started up, and the noise, and the like flame, and
and like like you were saying about that noise, like it really has that punch, that presence.
Yeah.
Like it is there. It is really fucking there.
Like, I don't even know what to say about that. And just, you know, then once we get into like the story itself, like we were saying, like, I very much enjoyed the riddles. Like, I was the thing is, I was sitting there trying to figure them out. Like, I was trying to do it myself, but Bruce would just say the answer so quickly. I was like, dang, I wanted a chance to try and think about this and figure it out myself.
It would have been
It would have been too hard. It would have been. They were honestly all too hard.
They were.
No. Like, What was it? El Rata Lata? Like,
Oh, El Rata Alana.
bro, I was not. I don't even know how Bruce got that. Some
No,
of these, I
because
was like, take
I
a
will
second
say,
to think about it,
I
bro.
will say, I
Take a
got that
second
one
and
pretty
think.
early. I got that one pretty
Really?
early. Not the what was what
It's
did it end up
because
being?
you're online so much.
No. I got that one pretty early because I was like, a rat with wings. That's a bat. A bat is
Oh,
a
I
rat
thought
with
you meant
wings.
the
I
URL
clocked that
part of
part
it.
first. I didn't
Oh,
get the
okay.
I didn't get the URL part.
Yeah.
But I got the. I was like, a rat with wings. That's a bat. A bat is a rodent with wings, or rodent
Yeah.
like. I don't know what it's. What is a marsupial, right? I don't animals. But I was like, yeah, that would be that, and then
Yeah.
it would be pretty easy. But I mean, they did end up going for that, like leading that in. But damn, the URL was good, and also it's
with the URL.
Also, it's a website. Like,
I
it's
know.
a
I
legit
went
website.
to the website.
I went as soon as it
afterwards.
popped up after the credits. I was like,
Oh, see, I didn't. I like looked up what I was like sitting there with my friends, and I was like, "Is there gonna be a post credits?" Like for some reason,
there's not going to be. I
was like, "This doesn't feel like the type of movie that will." And then I looked it up while we were sitting there, and I was like, "Okay, there's not really one, but there's a website." I went to the website, and I like did that whole thing. But I was like, I mean, that was cool.
I just wanted to sit through the credits at least. I liked it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I probably would have. I don't mind sitting through credits most of the time, but
I like seeing the names sometimes. Sometimes, like, you ever just see names of people you know that you know it's not them.
no. Well,
there
actually,
was-
like if it's like a famous person, like another famous person whose name is in there, not like someone that I know like casually.
No, I was sitting in the theater. I saw the guy who was sitting, like a guy in my group. His name was up there. He's not. It obviously wasn't fucking him.
Yeah,
but I was like, yo, and I did like the Wojak face and shit like that. I was like,
oh my gosh,
it's your name,
there
bro.
it is.
It was so funny. It was really funny.
I need to see my name one day, but
I mean, you have a famous person that has your name.
Oh, I forgot. I do
I mean,
have
it'll
a
be easy.
person that has my name.
I think I've seen my name up there once or twice.
Really?
I can't remember exactly when, but I think I did. I don't know. It's in my mom's name, but that's just because famous actress. But
I got you.
But yeah, beyond that, yeah, the riddles were super interesting.
Riddles,
Fucking
thumb drive.
The Riddler.
That was hilarious.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
The Riddler was fantastic.
Riddler was great.
Oh,
I loved him. My one thing is, and I know you know this because you saw my Letterboxd review.
Yeah.
But like, genuinely, he has
the most sense.
Valid motivations.
Dude, I'm telling you.
His motivations are so valid.
I'm starting to get tired of it too. Because every fucking superhero movie, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Panther, they're doing this in every fucking movie where they're like, oh, hey, how about instead of just having someone that's outright evil, let's have someone with a very good, great motivations. Oh, but they're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like
I will say this one was written a lot better than some of those other ones, like especially.
You think? I think like
I think better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I think with that one, it felt was just kind of randomly that
this one,
they were bad.
Though,
it's like, yeah, we're just bad though.
This one, though, I guess it only felt weird though because it's like, okay, he's like trying to expose the corruption in Gotham, right? Like he's trying to, take down everything that there is.
Yeah.
In terms of their like government system there. But then it's like, but guess what? He's like this like weirdo, like QAnon guy. Like it's like, oh, dang.
No, I feel like that. I feel like that makes sense though. I think.
You think?
I will say. I think that I don't know. I guess that aspect of it, like the internet connection aspect of it, I think it makes a lot of sense because obviously we saw what QAnon will drive fucking people to do.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of that.
I think that aspect of it I really enjoyed. It's not coming to my. How do you mean that he's a QAnon guy, or like are you just saying that he's just leading a group of people online?
No, I mean, it's like. It's mainly the leading group people online, and also just like because he's got this whole like little web of people down there, that he's like communicating with, and he's got his whole little. It's weird because it was like low key like a TikTok kind of thing that he was doing there.
It was a little
weird too.
He was going on IG Live and shit. No,
yeah.
I've been loving the memes that everyone's like Riddler for half the movie. It's like, we'll expose the corruption and blah, blah, blah. And it's like the other half, hey, y'all, thank y'all for 500 followers. just like
no,
the
literally.
fucking Twitch chat. Just like, yo, thank you for the dono.
yeah. That's literally what it was.
Those memes have been killing me. They're really fucking funny.
Oh my god.
So that aspect was a little bit like, yeah, but I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense because obviously we have a real world example of it, of people who are fucking just so lost in the sauce enough to go through and do shit like this. Obviously, this is cranked up to a 10 because they actually went and did something versus, the Capitol. When that happened, they were just kind of like, oh, what do we do? They just started moving like NPCs and shit once they got in there. But aside from that,
aside from that,
I think it fits. I think it fits the tone. I think it makes sense, just based on.
I think he was
real world experience.
I think he was a good villain. I think the scenes that I was saying I wish I hadn't seen are maybe the ones.
I wish I didn't see the diner scene.
I was gonna say the diner scene. And maybe even, I guess I didn't think about it when I was in there, but maybe the like interrogation scene too.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, okay, like the whole time watching this, I'm like, they're gonna catch him somehow, and I know once we get to the diner, that's when they're gonna get him. So it's like I was like, okay, that was a bit like we probably could have kept that out of the trailers. Also because they had it in most of. I want to say that scene was in like every trailer, and it was like the first trailer. It literally started with that scene.
Exactly, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I wish they would have maybe done some sort of twist on it, like, oh, maybe it's it would have been corny, right? And I'm not a good writer, but it'd been like, oh, he's not the real Riddler. There's another Riddler pulling the strings from behind the curtain.
A Mandarin.
Oh yeah. Not done that poorly, but like.
But better.
Done better.
Just some sort of something that could have thrown us for a loop a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do think there's that. I also am like, although Batman, you are the world's greatest detective, you did not solve any of these riddles fast enough to save anybody.
Yeah.
You also didn't solve the riddle fast enough to make sure that the whole city didn't flood. And it's your second year. I'll cut you some slack.
He's a sophomore, He's still getting used to the game.
But I was like, dang, even though you solved all these riddles, everyone he wanted to kill died, except for Batman.
Yeah.
He thwarted that.
Bruce, he didn't kill Bruce.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. And
when do you think he found out? Because he clocked him during the interrogation scene. He clocked him as Bruce Wayne. When did he find out? Do you think it was when Bruce didn't fucking die?
No, because he sent it to. Well,
no, because he sent it to the Batman letter at every corpse.
To every single one. I guess that's true. I wasn't thinking about that. But also, here's the thing: was the to the Batman one? That was the one that was in the. Fireproof, like the letter was in the fireproof.
Yeah, it was in the fireproof because he was gonna blow up.
He was gonna blow up the whole thing, and the letter would still have been there. Why did? I feel like maybe he couldn't have known that.
That's why I think it had to have been after that because realistically speaking, he would have. I don't know. I feel like if he wanted Batman to do more. Bruce would have been closer to last.
Right.
And he wouldn't have gone through, or maybe, maybe he's all seeing, all knowing, and he knew that Bruce wouldn't actually be there. It was just a diversion, so on and so forth.
Yeah. That, that's very possible. I'm not sure. I need to watch it again. I need to watch it. And that's
because now I want to go back with that in mind, thinking about that.
That's another thing. I have so many thoughts about this movie, but I also feel like I can't entirely finalize the way I feel about it without a second viewing
Right.
just yet. Like I really need that because people are like, "Where are you ranking it in terms of da da da?" And I'm like, I this movie is a lot to take in. Like it's
Yeah.
a lot to take in, and I kind of want to sit with it a bit more. I think I like almost all the aspects of it. I will say like I also don't know how sold I am on Catwoman.
What?
I
Explain.
I love Zoe Kravitz. I
Okay.
love Zoe Kravitz. Something there felt like it wasn't entirely clicking for me, and I'm not sure what it is, and maybe it'll click for me on second viewing,
Mm.
but there was something that I wasn't getting with maybe, chemistry wise between them. Um, but I really I want to see it again, but I think like Catwoman is maybe like one character that just didn't fully click for me, which I
Mm.
was not expecting because like I said, I love Zoe Kravitz.
Right.
Pretty much everything she's been in, I'm been a fan of.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't
So
know. I don't know.
I'll say, I think at first, at the beginning, I wasn't sold on the chemistry.
Yeah.
I think as it went on, it made more sense. I
Okay.
think both of them shared the screen together extremely well.
Mm,
Um, but I can see what you mean about the chemistry not being there.
right.
I maybe wanted a bit more out of her character,
Yeah.
especially if this movie was going to be 3 fucking hours long. I
Right.
maybe wanted a little bit more out of her, but I mean, I guess I can kind of understand there was a lot of characters we had to get a lot out of in this movie.
This is true.
Like we
This is
needed to
true.
get a lot out of the Riddler. We needed to get a lot out of Gordon. I mean, and even like someone I didn't expect us to get quite a bit out of, Falcone, we got quite a bit out of
Yeah.
towards the end.
And
And I think that was a pretty satisfying like way about it.
here was my one thing when I was like, we got Falcone, got my man John Turturro in this.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better not kill him. I swear to God, if y'all kill him, I'll be so mad. I was like, I need him. I just really love John Turturro. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need him to be in a sequel. I need him in this Gotham PD show,
Prequel,
which
spinoff.
is potentially maybe not a Gotham PD show anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, God, I need him. And they killed him, and I was like, mm. But also, I don't. I'm like, did they kill him? Is he dead?
Did they kill him, or did they kill him?
We saw him get shot. You know,
Getting shot doesn't mean
and
anything.
that doesn't mean anything. And here's another thing, because people were talking about like how the whole police department is in on it, right? But he's like,
Yeah.
but we have these. How do we know that those police aren't completely in on it? What if
Yeah.
those police are like, all right, take his body away, and they're like, we're gonna
There's
take
actually-
his body
We're
away,
gonna take it away.
and we're gonna, make sure that he lives to see another day.
Exactly.
Which feels very Batman and, Gotham and with all their cover-ups and whatnot. Like
yeah.
that feels like something that could very much happen. And John Turturro is a fabulous actor that, I feel like if you can keep him, keep him.
Please do.
And I think like that whole world that they created over there on that Gotham PD side with who we haven't even talked about, the Penguin, like
Yeah.
Colin Farrell doing phenomenal work.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal
And
work.
just like even just like the fucking plus the makeup department, because holy shit. I didn't even know that was fucking Colin Farrell, bro.
I was sitting.
Couldn't
I
even
was
tell.
Really, you can't tell. I was sitting there the entire movie, staring at his face. I was because I wanted to see him in there. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to be able to at some point look and just be like,
You legit can't.
I'm
You
like,
really
there's
can't.
something. I'm like, is there anything I can look at and be like, that's Colin Farrell? And I was looking at his eyes because I was like, sometimes the eyes are you can really
That's
tell.
the tell.
But I couldn't even see it in the eyes this time.
Exactly.
I was just like, this is a complete it's one of the best transformations I have ever seen
really
in
is. They
any movie.
They killed that
ever.
shit, man.
And he was even talking about like, you know, sitting down to do it, and he was shocked because he thought when they would like put on all the prosthetics and stuff like that, it would make it a bit stiff, but like his whole face kind of moves naturally still. You know,
it's so insane what they were able to accomplish with this.
It's wild.
God, applause to them. They deserve they better get a cut of that 134 million. Because god damn,
no, and they better
big chunk
Oscar nominated. Like because hairstyling, like, come on,
some of the best I've ever fucking seen, man.
Like if this movie doesn't get any nominations, like makeup and hairstyling,
it'd be a travesty.
Like, makeup and hairstyling's gotta do it. I mean, like, you know, I remember way back when people were really like Dark Knight, it's gonna snag that Best Picture nomination. Didn't snag.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very possible. Which is fine at the end of the day. Like, once again, don't care. But I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool. But I also liked that one scene where like Penguin is actually like walking like a penguin. I thought that was really cool.
That was a nice touch.
I like that a lot. I will say in some times it seemed like Matt Reeves went to the Christopher Nolan School of Sound Mixing, because I was really struggling to hear some of the dialogue at points. Specifically in the scene where Batman and Gordon are like talking to each other, and they're like gonna punch me now, and then I'm gonna, you know, whatever, and they're like trying to. I was like, I am getting some of this, but I'm not getting all of it. I need captions.
It was a bit
because some of y'all are whispering a decent amount.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another thing I wanted is to have a bit more Bruce and Alfred.
Yes. I think what we got was great. I wanted more.
Yeah. And I don't think it was enough to make me feel very emotional whenever Alfred's in the hospital, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, we know that, you know, Bruce and Alfred have, you know, grown up together, and, you know, Alfred kind of, you know,
raised
has taken
him in a
Bruce
sense,
under his wing. Yeah. But I didn't necessarily see this connection between them, which I think is something that like Nolan did so well. Like the connection that Bruce and Alfred have, and also because Michael Caine is just brilliant.
Yeah.
But like you truly,
I mean, I will say though, like what we had the
we didn't have a lot of Alfred scenes.
Yeah. But I mean, just like in the Nolan trilogy, it's trilogy to build up to that point. So,
I do think I really want to go back and, you know, rewatch the whole trilogy and see, you know, even starting just from Batman Begins, because I mean, essentially this, if we're like, it's interesting people compare it to The Dark Knight, because really if you want to look at this as such a trilogy, wouldn't we?
This should be compared to
Batman Begins, which, like, you know, I feel like changes a lot of things, but
it does. I will say though, like I understand the comparison just based off sheer quality. Like that's the whole point. Like the fact that The Dark Knight was so widely regarded as one of the best fucking Batman movies of all time.
Right.
So this coming along being so good, it's like, all right, now we're putting you toe to toe against The Dark Knight.
And that's gonna happen to, I feel like, every single Batman movie that ever comes out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be like, but is it The Dark Knight?
Yeah, exactly. So,
but who knows? Maybe from here on out, like if the consensus becomes that this is better, it's gonna be like, well, is it as good as the Batman 2022?
Yeah, and you know, I feel like Batman is the only franchise I can think of this happening with. Like, there's no other, like in the
Spider-Man.
MCU, there's no. But is there one Spider-Man movie that everyone,
Spider-Man 2,
whenever it comes out? No. But the thing is, whenever a Spider-Man movie comes out, everyone doesn't go, but is it better than Spider-Man 2?
I don't know. There's
a consensus amongst a lot of people that is the best Spider-Man movie, but it's not nearly.
It's not nearly as like clear cut. But I think,
like you were saying, like The Dark Knight is considered one of the best films of all time.
Yeah,
and so it's like everyone has an opinion on The Dark Knight, and pretty much everyone thinks that it's great. Not everyone is really in love with those Spider-Man movies, besides like diehard like Spider-Man
but it's
fans.
the closest comparison we can get.
It's the closest comparison.
They're also the two most popular characters in the world, by the way.
Right. It's the closest comparison, but I feel like the cultural conversation is very different only because the culture as a whole is not as connected to Spider-Man 2 as they are to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So I feel like it like whenever No Way Home comes out, people don't go, but is it better than Spider-Man 2? They're just like, this is a really good Spider-Man movie.
Also, Into the Spider-Verse, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Into the Spider-Verse.
Just saying.
Which is like another movie that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. But
no, it's pretty. It's definitely not
definitely
brought up nearly in the conversation as much as Spider-Man 2 is, but there's enough people who know what they're talking about.
It's never going to be, a Spider-Man movie comes out. Is it better than Into the Spider-Verse? Like, I feel like I can't.
I do that.
I mean, yeah, no, that's perfectly valid. Like, it's a phenomenal movie. It's like, probably. And it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I have my favorite Spider-Man movie. But
I'll go for it. What is it? I'm trying to hear this.
Take a guess.
Spider-Man 2.
No, it's not Spider-Man 2, actually.
Is it Homecoming?
It's not Homecoming either. It is
Spider-Man 1?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Fuck you.
I love that movie. I have loved that movie for so long. I just have a very deep connection to that movie. Like,
I'm gonna let it slide. Because
and I've always said like that Spider-Man movie is not. I don't think it's a perfect Spider-Man movie. I do just like it as a film, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously people have a lot of issues with like his portrayal of Peter Parker, but I do still to this day think Andrew has the best portrayal of Spider-Man,
right,
in his movies, even in the second one. Like I think I love the quippiness that he has there, and
yeah, I was gonna say that's been something that's really come up a lot in the conversation, especially leading up to and after No Way Home.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, no, that tracks.
And yeah, and you can say what you want about his Peter, but they tried to make him cool skateboarding in the hallway, whatever.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, but his Spider-Man, I think, is truly unmatched. And no, there's always that. And I think I really love that movie because it made like, the love story between him and Gwen Stacy like a very, like it's like a focal point in that movie.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, I like it more than the original. I like it more than the original relationship.
Oh, yeah. And
honestly,
I do think like MJ, like MJ and Peter in the original trilogy have a really good relationship too. I think the MCU definitely has the worst approach to that.
I think we got a better part of that in No Way Home, but
I think they really tried. They really did. But the thing is, they were trying to play catch up because
it was
so
catch up.
Like,
because he didn't. Because the problem is like she wasn't the love interest in the first one at all.
Exactly.
It was just like, oh, we know she's going to be because her name is MJ, which probably not a great way to write a character, right?
He was chasing
the second one was him trying to get her the whole time,
right?
And then he bags her at the end. So it's like, okay, well now we need to develop this relationship in a movie.
And then you have No Way Home, which is trying to do like everything.
Yeah, everything at the same time. Which, I mean, to be fair, it does pretty well, but
I just think they're definitely coming in, a far last place when it comes to love story.
I don't know. I kind of like looking back. I'm not feeling the original one that much.
Over MCU?
Over MCU, yeah, but it's closer than you'd think.
Dude, I just rewatched.
Not as it's written, just as they are.
I just recently rewatched Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2.
Right.
Um, and they're both, I think, still really solid. And I do love that they kind of, there's just something that they capture so well about, you know, the like Harry, MJ, and Peter. Like, I think they
I
have that dynamic so well. And, I think that is one thing that MCU also did very well is, establishing that, him and Ned, their
yeah.
friendship. That's why Homecoming is my favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah.
Like,
It is really great.
I think that one is still very solid. Far From Home, we're not going to talk about it.
A bit of a swing and a miss.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know even how we got on.
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
well, back to Batman. I'm excited. They are doing more of these, right? Like I know we've been talking about. They're certainly going to do more.
They've been talking about sequels. The sequel apparently already. So
yeah. So it's a shame. No one gets to see Robert Pattinson's penis anymore because he's not going to do porn because it did very well. So sorry for all my Twilight folk that really wanted to see it.
We're really looking out for that.
Yeah.
But
maybe next time. Yeah. Don't go watch the Batman 2. All right? If you want it to happen, don't go watch 2.
Do you have a villain you want to see for the sequel?
Shit. That's tough. I don't know. I mean, obviously at the end of this one they set up the Joker played by
which I didn't know if they would.
I didn't know if they would either. I didn't know if they were going to try to like throw this into like the Joker verse.
Right. And I don't know if you heard, because apparently they were showing like 2 different cuts of the movie. We might have talked about this. I don't know if we did. But there was a rumor going around that they were, testing 2 versions of the movie with audiences. And there was like, the reports were that they were showing one that had a certain character in it, and one that didn't have that character in it. And they were like testing to see which one,
did well with audiences.
So once we got to the end, and people like were already speculating, like, okay, it's whether they're gonna put like Barry in it or not.
Yeah.
And so once we were getting to the end, I was like, okay, so we didn't get the Keoghan cut. Like, fine, whatever. And then they have, that little bit of him in there. And Matt Reeves was saying, actually, there's another scene that they cut that introduces him a lot earlier into the movie. And I can't remember exactly the specifics, but I'll like send you the article. This kind of talks about like how I guess he met Riddler, and like there's like an interaction between the 2 of them that happens. It's like a Variety article, I think. But I don't mind that they teased that. It felt like the only time in that movie where they did something like that. And I feel like most of the time in superhero movies, you get the kind of like Easter egg teasing stuff all the time, and it feels a little bit unbearable. But I'm like, you know what? You just made a great movie. If at the end of the movie you want to go to Arkham Asylum and
you want to set up a sequel, go for it.
Go for it. You just did a phenomenal lap. So yeah, go ahead and sit down, have a drink that maybe isn't as healthy for you or something. I don't know. That's the analogy I just made. But
treat yourself.
I liked it. I think that his take on the Joker could be really interesting. I love how mangled really his face looks. Like it was disgusting, even though it was like very like silhouetted still. Like I was like, this looks nasty.
All I'm saying is they need to follow up on that if they wanna make some money off this next movie, because my God, Barry Keoghan is the white boy of the month right now.
Oh yeah.
He's he's having his time, like especially after Eternals, he's having his time as white boy of the month.
And I think Matt Reeves also said he doesn't know necessarily that he's going to follow that up per se.
Yeah.
Or even,
Nah, bro, he's just getting Thanos. It's gonna be at the end.
Oh my gosh. Or even put like he doesn't even know if we're necessarily going to get a Joker like centric movie.
Yeah.
but he just kind of wanted to have that in there, which I'm
Have it
fine with.
exist.
If
Yeah.
that is the way you just say Joker exists in this universe, we're not going to do a movie with him, but we just wanted to have a little thing in there to acknowledge that he is one of the most infamous Batman characters of all time.
I don't know that they can just not do it though.
You don't
Like
think
he
so?
is he's the Batman villain. You know?
He is. I think
you don't have a Batman
know,
without the Joker, you know?
I think you can. I think they can wait on it.
They can wait on it, but
I
they
think
can't
could
not
say,
do it.
Also, I
my
want
point.
us to start moving away from trilogies. I hate that people lock themselves into this is only going to be 3 movies.
Yeah.
Do 4 movies, do 5 movies. Like,
fuck it, do 10, bro. I don't care.
Exactly. Like, why do we have to do that? Like, maybe
I think 5 is actually probably a very perfect amount.
I would love that. And granted, yeah, I guess we're going to be watching Robert Pattinson be Batman for the next 20 years, but I don't care.
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
I
honest.
don't want to, like, as much whiplash as we have with like different Spider-Man castings, different Batman castings. Like, give me someone that I can sit with.
Yeah, give us a fucking James Bond. Like, come on.
Why is it so hard?
Let someone sit with the character for a long time. As long as they want to, I guess.
Yeah, as long as they want to. Like,
and I mean, judging based off this, I'm pretty sure Robert Pattinson does not mind being Batman.
Yeah, he said, like, he seems like he had a great time on set and had a great time shooting this movie. Like, just let him keep doing it. Just let the guy keep doing it for as long as he wants to. If Matt Reeves is going to keep making good movies, let the man make good movies. What is the issue?
Exactly.
So I would like to see. I want to see a lot more. I want to see a lot more. Yeah. I would really like to see.
Who's your villain? Who's your villain? I know you asked me. Mine was just the one that makes the most sense, but
I would like to see Deathstroke. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy one.
But I don't know that
Arnold play him?
Yeah.
I want Arnold Mr. Freeze back.
What did he say? Ice to see you? Something like that.
Probably. I can't remember that. For good reason.
Yeah. I think a cool version, like, I think Bane would be dope if
they could redo Bane a bit.
Yeah, if they could redo Bane, and that's the thing. Like, I would want to see some more comic accurate. Like, maybe we get like a more accurate version of Scarecrow. Like, but Scarecrow already what we got in Nolan's was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I would love to see that expanded more. Like, I would love to see more accurate like Ra's al Ghul. That would be cool. So yeah, I know everyone is like keeps saying like Court of Owls, like do Court of Owls. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that familiar with the source material, but it sounds cool from what I've heard. But
fuck it, do it.
Yeah, do it. I'm excited. I know whatever Matt Reeves does next will be great.
Slapping. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Hopefully, sure. I mean, I'm thinking 2 years, right?
2 years. We can get 2023. Wait, it's 2022 already.
2024.
2024.
I mean, like, if we get an early release again like last time, I'd be fine with waiting until 2024.
Yeah. Also, this got delayed a lot, remember?
Yeah,
we were supposed to get this last year in like October or something.
Yeah, you're right. So wait, so this was going to be out on HBO Max then, huh?
Wow.
Because if it was coming out last year, then everything last year came out on HBO Max.
It did.
That would have been terrible for them.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking awful.
But you know what? I think people would have still gone to go see it.
I would have.
I think a lot more people would have seen it.
Period.
But I think a lot of people were seeing it anyway. A lot of people are seeing it now anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of those things where it's like, it's Batman. I'm gonna go see. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go watch this.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Suicide Squad where You know,
Right. People
obviously
were
everyone
maybe
already
not.
had the poor taste of the original one in their mouth, and they're like, "Am I gonna go see this in
What's the point?
theaters? Oh no, I can watch it for free on HBO Max. Cool."
Which is wild because, you know, somehow then Peacemaker turned out to have stellar rating
It
and
was
like
just, I
tons
mean,
of people watching it.
the Suicide Squad was just well received, and
It
I
was,
feel
but it
like a
wasn't
lot
like
of it
it
just has to do with
underperformed.
it. It underperformed. However, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that most of the people that watched it probably did catch it on HBO Max, and then they loved it,
Yeah.
and then were like, Peacemaker, I'm already on HBO Max, I'm already subscribed. Let me go watch this show. Boom, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely possible.
DC is on the up. DC's on the up.
All right.
I'm ready. I'm ready
All
to
right.
switch sides.
You're
I'm not on sides.
Okay.
I'm on the side of good movies. I just love getting some good movies, and this was a great
Me
movie. Very
too.
happy. Very happy. That's it. That's the
that on
Needle in the
that.
Lens, the Batman 2022 review. What are
Good
your thoughts?
review.
Leave them in the comments down below or add us on Twitter at NAL Podcast. Before we go, let's go ahead and get into the things that we enjoyed this week. And Noah was bitching at me last time that I always go first. So I'm going to let Noah go first.
What? It was not. It was an observation.
It was an
And the thing
observation,
is,
but I'm letting you go first.
You know, I rarely have any music to say anyway. At least these days, I feel.
And
like.
go. I don't have shit to talk about this week, so.
Oh wow.
Or I barely have shit to talk about this week.
I caught some of this new album from the Cool Kids.
I forgot.
That was
that one.
pretty good. Once again, has a Chance Rapper feature. That's very good.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Chance Rapper off pod. Got it. I also caught this new Charlie XCX single, which I didn't hate.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. It's honestly probably one of, like, I would say it's out of all the 4 singles, like this one's definitely top 2 for me. I only have heard it once and I was like, okay. Like, it's still not the sound I want her to be going for.
Yeah.
But this is not bad. Like, I could enjoy this. I could see myself enjoying this more on future listens. I think that's it with music. Oh, The Loop, Tori Moi, new single. Maybe from not this week. It might have come out a week before. But it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Love that. Stuff I watched though, obviously the Batman.
Yeah.
Amazing. I watched part 3 of Genius, the last part of the Kanye documentary. It is the worst part. Worst is a strong word. It
is your least favorite part. Weakest
it's my
part.
least favorite for a lot of reasons, which I think are explained in the documentary for why, you know, it lacks some of the intimacy of the first 2 parts. But still overall great documentary. Shows, started watching this show American Auto, which is a network comedy. But I feel like network comedies are kind of having a moment right now. Like, this show it's pretty funny. It's from the creator of Superstore. If that intrigues you.
Yeah, that does intrigue me. Okay.
And it's just about these people that work at, you know, basically like they're like higher up at a sort of like Ford or Toyota or whatever. Like they're in the office, you know. They're not like in the factory or anything. But it's kind of, you know, workplace comedy. I think it's pretty funny. I never watched Superstore, but I'm enjoying American Auto so far.
Superstore is pretty solid.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it from you. I've heard that from a couple other people. So I'm like, all right. Was that I finished watching the After Party, or they had their last episode come out. After Party on HBO, or not HBO, Apple TV Plus, which was a solid murder mystery comedy from Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Enjoyed that. New episode of Severance. So good. And I also started watching this other show, Flatbush Misdemeanors,
Oh,
um, which is on Showtime, and it's hilarious. It's so good. It's so
good to
good.
know.
I feel like for people that enjoy Atlanta, like you could probably also get into this.
You
Um,
said it's on Showtime, right?
yeah, it's on Showtime.
I gotta fucking activate that.
Yeah, go. But yeah, it's so weird because I was really going through everything just now. I was like, dang, I was really busy this past week. I don't know
Good for you.
how I found the time to watch all of that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
that
Good
that's
job.
what I saw. What
Good
about
job.
you? You don't have anything?
No, I have stuff, but it's just not a ton.
Oh,
Music is mostly what I did because I had to take a two-way trip. This King
okay.
Von this King Von album, I thought it was fine. Never really been huge into King Von,
Yeah.
but what it means to be king is fine, I
Okay.
suppose.
Mm-hmm.
This album from Stromae called Multitude, I thought was pretty solid as well.
Oh yeah, I heard about
They're Belgian, I think it is.
Hmm.
I don't know, but I thought it was very
French?
sonically nice. Belgian, I think.
Dang.
Yeah, I think. But this new Pusha T track, Hear Me Clearly, I thought it was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, I need to hear
And every day looking more and more forward to next Pusha T record. Haim track, Lost track, I thought was pretty fine
that.
too.
Oh yeah.
Jack White, Heidi Ho, I thought was pretty cool too, as well. Let's see. Beyond that, my God. This album from Peach Pit from 2 to 3, I thought was pretty solid as well. Yeah, I also felt pretty okay about the Charlie XCX track as well. Damn, that's it for music. Nothing really blew me away this week. I didn't really love all that much.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, hoping for more stuff this week. We are getting Tan Talk 4 this week, so I'm very, very excited for that. Hopefully we get some more awesome music as well, and I will check out that the Cool Kids album as well at some point. But aside from that, watch The Batman, obviously. We talked about it for over an hour. Loved it. I am almost done with the 3rd episode of Genius. I do feel what you were saying about it, that it feels substantially less intimate than the previous ones. And it's really like putting it into perspective, especially in the context of now. And I know you were talking about this a bit on your Letterboxd review, but it's really weird seeing the difference between this and now. And it's really sad, especially like I know there was some controversy recently with this Easy music video, not to get too much into that, but it really does start to seem that like, especially you can see with Cootie and like the difference between the first 2 episodes and this episode, it really does seem like now there's not that many people in his corner that genuinely give a shit about him.
Right. Or are willing to even push back.
Yeah, that are willing to push back against him. Like, obviously, yeah, like I'm pretty sure a lot of it does have to do with, maybe Kanye surrounding himself with yes men. But also at the same time, it's like, look, there's not a lot of people who are really caring for him, who want to push him to get the help that he needs. And it's really sad to see, because at the end of the day, a lot of it does kind of seem like it is a cry for help in some respects, as much as Kanye may never admit it. It could really be that way. And it's sad to see that there's not people that genuinely care for him in his corner. And, obviously not to excuse any of the shit that he's doing. It's, the things that he's said and done have been pretty terrible lately, but so it's sad to see, but I do need to finish that. I've got like 15 minutes or so left in it. I forgot to go back to it. I do need to catch up on Severance too. I'm 2 episodes behind, but I talked about it last week already.
Really good.
Really? Fuck. It's crazy that like Ben Stiller, he directed it or produced it or some shit. Like
I think he directed maybe the first 3. I don't know. This like most recent episode, I don't think he directed it.
But, okay, but I know he's involved, which is just like crazy to me. But Yeah, no, I do want to catch up on that. I didn't get the chance to. I just had a really busy weekend.
Right.
But yeah, obviously loved the first 2 episodes, so very, very excited to see more. Aside from that, the only other thing that I watched was Sorry to Bother You again because it just got on Netflix. God, it just reminded me how much I love that movie. It's so good. It does still hold up. It is fantastic. I only got about halfway through it, but I definitely do want to try to finish it again. It is so good. If you have never seen it, it's on Netflix now, the most popular streaming platform, right? Go check it out. It is phenomenal. I cannot recommend it highly enough.
Watch it with your parents.
Absolutely watch it with your parents. Best idea ever. No, I will say my dad was not feeling it, and that's when I stopped recommending him movies because I realized he does not have to.
Yeah.
He also refuses to watch things with subtitles, but that's besides the point. No. Like, not to like dish on him too hard and shit, but he doesn't like I'll watch regular TV with subtitles.
Right.
He doesn't even want to watch regular TV with subtitles. Like he's been into Better Call Saul lately, and I'll go downstairs and I'll watch, and it doesn't have subtitles on it, and it just throws me off. I don't like that. Like, it doesn't hurt.
I need it.
We also, I'm saying it. I think I said it last time when I came back from Mexico, and I said I watched The Boss Baby, and they had subtitles on their default. Why can't we just have that in US theaters? Like, it really doesn't hurt.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't hurt. Just do it. You know? Yeah. That's the point. Anyway, we're going to move right along. Folks, if you enjoyed this podcast, leave a like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you thought. That is for the YouTube folks, but we are also on podcast listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so on and so forth. Check us out there. Links will be in the description. And also look us up on YouTube, Needle and Lens Podcast. We are on Twitter. That's the word.
Wow.
At NAL Podcast. I almost forgot what it was. And on TikTok, I think we're Needle and the Lens. I'm pretty sure. Links will probably be in the description. That's going to be it, folks. See you all next week.
Peace.